Hi, Steve Chater here with TCT Property Management Services. Happy New Year to you. I want to thank you for being part of the TCT family and building wealth with Phoenix Real Estate. So let me just take a few minutes here to give you an investor update for 2023, what you should know about the Phoenix area real estate market. And I'm going to go quickly, so this will only take a few minutes. So we've all heard the news. Everybody's expecting a recession next year, and and it seems more and more likely every day we go along. So what do we do about that? So let me tell you about this. First of all, if we do have a recession, one of the things that happens is mortgage rates go down during the recession. You can see here the yellow blocks on this screen, and with each one of these yellow blocks, you see where the interest rate declined. Why are we even talking about going into recession? Because the Federal Reserve has raised the interest rates in order to slow down our economy. And so here's what we call the Cromford Market Index. And what this does is it measures the market as a buyer's market or seller's market. And up here, no question, it was a seller's market. Property values went up almost $100,000 last year in 2021. Our market now has stabilized, and so we're down here in a much more normal market where inflation drives the price increases, where the demand for people moving from other parts of the country driving our price increases. However, what the news media will tell you about is this, and they think that looks like a crash when all it is a normalization of the market. Look, the news media thrives on fear and driving fear. And let me just show you some headlines that came October 2015. Let's go back here. Housing is a bubble larger than 2026, but prices went up 15,000. And then the next year in 2016, we're in a new housing bubble. Yeah, prices went up 17,000. Home ownership doesn't build wealth, a study finds. Prices went up $20,000. It's better to rent than to buy in 2018. Prices went up again. The housing market is about to shift in a bad way for buyers. Okay, that might have been true because housing values went up again. The next year, it'll be hard. Next year, it'll be hard in the housing market, especially in those big cities. Property values continue to go up $61,000, $80,000. The point that I'm making is that the news media will share with you any kind of fear, but the evidence doesn't bear out what they're trying to sell. So, look at here's our normal cycle, and here's the wintertime, summertime, wintertime, summertime, and so we go through these normal cycles every year, and you're going to hear in the news media that sales have declined and not enough houses are. Well, that's true. That happens every single year. So let's take a look and see what, let's look at some real statistics. So when we talk about a recession, if we're going into one, in 8 of the last 9 recessions, 8 of the last 9 recessions, housing prices went up. So these dark blue lines are every time that we had a recession since back in 1960. The only time it didn't was in 2006, 2008, where the property values came down here. Why? Because prior to that, you didn't have to have a job. You didn't have to be making money. You could have terrible credit, but you could still get a mortgage. And see, housing prices were going up because they were giving all these non-qualified buyers the opportunity to get a mortgage. And then when the properties stopped going up in value, they started losing the properties. And the foreclosures were up. So bottom line is, 8 of the 9 last recessions, housing prices went up. Why? Because normal buyers were buying normal houses, and that's what's been happening here. And that's what we expect for the future for us. Now, as an investor, I want to talk to you about what we call the listing success rate. If you look at the blue line here, the blue line is last year in 2021, we're 2023 now, and last year in 2021, over 9 out of 10 houses that went on the market sold. In the beginning of 2022, same thing. Then the Federal Reserve started raising the interest rates. And so as the interest rates went up, instead of 9 out of 10 houses selling, we're down to 6 to 7 out of 10 houses selling. A much more normal market, to be quite frank. But here's the thing. This gap represents the buyers that wanted to buy houses, But because of the interest rate increase, because of the property values going up, they are now renters, which is good news for all of us who own single family rental properties, and especially if you kept a low interest mortgage and you've got a mortgage at 2, 3, 4, 5%, anything under 6% is a good deal. Here's the other thing. Right here, where we are now, is the exact same place we were in 2014. And that was a good year for Phoenix real estate. Property values went up more than 5%. Property owners were happy, and it just continued to get better from there. Look, unless you purchased your property this year, you're already ahead of the game, because property values are pretty much the same as they were in December of 2021. Yeah, they went up, and then they come back down again, but they've come down to more realistic prices. And if you have a loan with a rate below 6%, you're sitting pretty right now. And here's the thing. Rents and prices for houses are going to increase with inflation. So even if you bought in 2022, even if you didn't experience a 75% improvement or 65 or all these numbers, even if you didn't experience all of that growth, if you hold on, you'll be just fine. So here's the bottom line. You can listen to the media, you can profit from the truth, and we're going to continue to share with you the truth of what's going on in our market. First of all, Phoenix real estate is not crashing. It's just gone back to normal. Number two, the rental market is strong with people that wanted to buy, but they're now renting. And we also still have an influx of people because our job growth is continuing. New companies are moving in. People are moving into the Phoenix area. Number three, property values go up with inflation. When the cost of concrete and lumber and copper and all of the other things go up, so do the property values. And rents go up with inflation. So if you have a low interest rate, don't lose out by selling the property, because every month the tenant is increasing your net worth, not only by paying off part of your mortgage, but by waiting for the property to continue to appreciate and get worth more and more and more. So again, I want to say thank you for being a part of TCT family. We're happy to provide you this information. We'll continue to provide you with education and updates throughout the year so you can make great decisions. And let me just share one more statistic with you. There are more investors buying in the Phoenix market, single family homes right now, than there have been for years. The biggest part of the market is selling, huge part of the market is selling to investors. It is a great time to buy. It's a great time to hold. Thank you for being a part of TCT. See you next time.